I'm Gerard Delanty. A few words about my professional background. I went to university in the late 1970s in Ireland to study sociology and philosophy. I did my doctoral study in sociology, in philosophy of social science and sociological theory, which remained my specialist areas, what I teach in. However, over the past 20 years, I've been working on various aspects of European history, European societies. I've published about 12 books altogether on various aspects of European modernity, including some works in sociological theory. Now, the perspectives that I draw on are pretty much from the German tradition of critical theory, which I've brought to bear on the present book, the European Heritage, a critical reinterpretation. I've been interested in the formation and transformation of European identity over the past 200 years. Roughly speaking, what I'm interested in is the relationship between modernity and the formation of modern European societies. Now, this book has emerged out of my work over the past 5 years, and it's a book that seeks to offer what I like to think at least is a new interpretation of the European heritage that challenges the received and somewhat conservative views of heritage, and in particular the European heritage, but also some of the critical approaches to European modernity. I have basically 3 positions that I pursue in this book. The first is to bring to bear on the question of the European heritage new ideas in global and transnational history that demonstrate the interconnectivity of European societies. On the one side, the connections between the nations of Europe, trying to demonstrate how Europe is not formed out of something called Europe, but is formed out of the interactions of nations. And secondly, and possibly more importantly, the relationship between Europe and the rest of the world, in particular in the context of colonialism, but not only. I argue for a notion of the European heritage as formed in the context of what I refer to as an intercivilizational constellation, as opposed to being just one thing underpinned by historical origin and defined by territory. So it's very much a conception of the European heritage as formed through entanglements. And I developed very much this idea of entanglement to make sense of the European past, and try to show how that's reflected in political memories, for example, the cross-fertilization of memories. Secondly, I bring to bear a critical perspective drawn largely from ideas in critical theory, particularly ideas developed by thinkers such as Adorno, Habermas, but also Foucault. And thirdly, I argue for a cosmopolitan interpretation of the European heritage. And here I bring to bear on the idea of memory and heritage, new thinking in cosmopolitan social and political theory, especially what I call critical cosmopolitanism. And that's not to say that the European heritage is cosmopolitan. On the contrary, the objective is to show how a critical cosmopolitan perspective can open up new understandings of the formation of memories, including hidden memories, alternative currents of history, new readings of history that are informed by the notion of entanglement and developments in global and transnational history. So both a move away from ideas of European singularity and particularity to a more contested and interconnected conception of history. So it brings these ideas in global transnational history and social political theory, and in cosmopolitan social and political theory to bear on the idea of heritage, showing, amongst other things, that heritage is not something fixed, it's not simply the received wisdom of the past, but also entails a consideration of contested histories, hidden histories, and so on.